Welcome to the NBHL Game of the Week. Our new 2025 season is underway, and we're really excited to bring you an exciting game from Pittsburgh, the McKeesport Aces, and the Northside Militia. I'm Matthew Aaron. Thank you so much for being with us to start the 2025 NBHL season. We've got two great teams for you and a really good matchup. Firstly, the McKeesport Aces are the defending Pittsburgh Tier 1 division champions after losing in the NBHL national playoffs last year. They're looking to take a next step forward, and they are going to have a good chance of doing that because they've got two players we're really excited to look out for in this game today. Jordan Albright, one of the best forwards in all of ball hockey, and then his brother Drew on the blue line. Really excited to see how those two play for the defending Pittsburgh Tier 1 champions, and they're facing the Northside Militia, who are the defending national Tier 2 champions, coming up to Tier 1 for the first time since 2021, in which they went 2-8. They have won their last 22 games dating back to last season, so they know how to win. In the last 3 years, they've been in the Pittsburgh Tier 2 final, and they've won 2 of them. So we're really looking forward to a good matchup with this game of the week to start the season. After this short break, we'll drop the ball in the 2025 season. Stay with us.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like ass. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages, because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
We're back at Greater Pittsburgh Deck Hockey in Penn Hills, just outside of Pittsburgh. Militia Aces getting ready for the first NBHL Game of the Week for 2025. Aces are in the tan uniforms with red shorts, all black with blue numbers for the Militia. Let's get underway, and let's see what 2025 brings us. A very fun game to start this brand new campaign. And it starts unsurprisingly with the Aces in possession. Of course, this is the team that won the Pittsburgh Tier 1 League last year. They are a little bit short-handed because a good chunk of their roster is playing at a different tournament. So we'll have to see if that affects the way this game goes. 10-minute periods. Almost said quarters, but 10-minute periods in ball hockey. So it'll start with the Aces in possession with number 20, Drew Albright, defender. We talked about him off the top. National team potential, and this play is stopped because they were offside. So we'll get going once again. Militia have, again, when you win 22 games in a row, quite a bit of talent to work with. But moving up from one league to another is going to be a challenge, and we'll have to see what that ends up looking like as we go along. That faceoff is won by the Aces, and they will shoot it in. And another whistle is blown. I have to try it again on another offside. Goalies, by the way, for both teams. It's Alec Bowles in net for the Militia and Bryce Scanlon in net for the Aces. This time, it's the Militia that win the draw, and they will try to send it in, and they're unable to do so. That's Phil Tranter, one of the substitute players in because the Aces don't have quite their full roster on hand who shot it in. He's on it again as he tries to get set up here, and that shot deflected just wide in front of the net. See what the strategy is on breaking down these defenses. What kind of game are we going to see? With it being the first game, and certainly with the Aces not having a full roster of players, the kind of roster they would want to, is Tranter tried to wrap it around and ended up getting held onto. Bowles was ready for that wraparound shot. See, not just a bit of a feeling out process, but also an opportunity to see what kind of rhythm we get into. In the first game of a season, you're not anywhere near what you are going to be at full strength. Tranter tried to funnel that in on the backhand. Not a whole lot going on there behind the net as the Militia try to push it up the wall and get it out over the floating blue line, which means when you clear it, you have to get over the red line, not the yellow line that you would associate with the blue line, as that is fired, and once again, hard bounce off the end boards, but the Militia are able to clear. Number 91, Michael Bain, trying to push that into the offensive zone. For the Militia, as they try to get something going offensively for the first time in this game, you can see we have 7:50 to go in the opening opening period of proceedings in this game of the week. And as Justin Hancock, defender trying to wriggle the puck free, wriggle the ball free. We'll say puck every now and again. It's okay. We get confused with ice hockey and ball hockey. Right down in front of the camera's hard duel with Declan Moffat, who usually is in goal, but he's had to play as a forward today because of the lack of players available, but the hand skills should be able to translate between goalie and forward. And he's on it again, center ice, as it's shot all the way in. Militia once again able to clear, and the Aces will regroup with Drew Albright back there. Gonna get the sense he's gonna run the play as he fires that in from the neutral zone, and Vols holds on. 6:52 to go in this opening quarter. Neither goalie tested all that much yet. Not many good chances have happened as of yet either. But you'd expect that with the first game of the season. Teams trying to figure out their identities. And certainly for the Aces, they get into those players. That shot from Josh Faust from the point found its way through, and Vols had to swipe it away. Another pass comes out to the point, which Faust holds in, and now the Militia are able to push it ahead, and that's flicked on net by the Militia, and it will eventually be frozen by Scanlon. First time he's had to do that this afternoon. As he said last year, Aces defending Pittsburgh Tier 1 division champions lost at the national championships in 2024. So they have a lot to live up to, and certainly the Militia have a lot to live up to too when you've won 22 games in a row dating back to last season. And in Tier 2, they had been dominating that level for the last few years, and so not a huge surprise that they've decided to take the step up to Tier 1, and what a test for their first game. Corner battle, as the Militia had an opportunity to throw it in front of another shot, is into the net for the first goal of the season. That was Trevor McCallum, number 96. Beautiful shot. He's able to just rip this in. It looks like a harmless play, starting from back deep in their own zone. And it's slow developing, but it's a nice little pass to chip it ahead. And you can see Garrett Gilly, number 98, helps set this up. And look at the space that McCallum ends up finding. That's an easy shot to the top corner. There is nobody in 10 anywhere near him. And so, first blood of the Militia, and it comes a bit, you wouldn't say against the way the game has been going, but it's the first real chance for either team, and they absolutely take advantage of it. So it's the Militia with a 1-goal lead, and now it's up to the Aces to respond to that. Came just about 4 minutes into the opening quarter. That was Sean Dural, forward number 28, trying to play it further into the zone, but he turned it over. And now it's the Aces' turn to see if they can respond in attack. Another hard shot. That was from Bruno, Nick Bruno, and it's held by Vols once again. Expect to see a lot of that, just funneling the ball towards the net as much as possible. Nothing crazy in terms of offensive motion in the first game of the season. Face off to Vols' left. Scrum off of it. Comes to this wall near side. And Dural wants to put it out, but he ended up having to go backwards to his defenders, and now it's flipped all the way out into the neutral zone where Justin Hancock, number 93, will try to set the Aces on their way, but turn it over again as the Militia try to scamper into the zone. It was Joey Moore who had to come all the way back from the right side, coming over on the left side to help the breakout. Albright tried to bring that in. It was Drew Albright, number 20, on the far side, but found it difficult to do so. Rolls all the way on net. As the Aces will try again. Tranter tries to shoot. That's blocked. Good block from Craig Steedle, number 26, who got in the way. And they are offside, trying to enter the zone. That was Steedle who tried to bring it in, but a couple of Militia players were ahead of them. 4:36 to go in the opening period of our first game of the week in 2025. Northside Militia leading 1-0, trying to extend their winning streak to 23 games dating back to last season. Don't care what level of any sport you're at, if you've won 23 or trying to win 23 games in a row, you've done something right. Militia going D to D in their own zone, trying to break this neutral zone trap, if that's what you want to call it. This chance is fired in by Bruno, and that ended up going wide. On the stick of Tommy Tedesco, his defender, who's trying to push it ahead, along with Anthony Rizzitano. Once again, the ace is able to survive that and move it ahead. That's wired in by Nathan Zavola. Ends up rattling around the end boards and comes all the way back to this end, and that is going to be an icing against the Militia, and we'll go back the other way. Yes, it is still icing, even if we are not playing on ice. No offensive zone draw for the Aces is they try to get some rubber towards the net, which they haven't done a whole lot of yet, but still only down 1-0, and they've had more of possession early in this game. Little scrum off the draw. That's cleared all the way down. Once again by the Militia. They try to scamper into the zone, the Militia, to get something going on offense. There's no icing here. Turn over the far side was Brandon Zeman, number 63, who was putting the pressure on. Trying to use the end boards to help relieve the pressure, and they're struggling to do so. That quick shot goes wide there from Jordan Albright. Haven't said his name much yet, number 71. Imagine that's going to change by the time this game goes on. Drew Albright tried to get it into the slot. Ends up going wide. Zach Smith, another one of these extra players, 92, gets it to Drew Albright. Drew and Jordan playing catch. Smith will try to go in after it in the corner, trying to throw body at Corey Grand, who is defending in the corner. That's thrown into the slot by Bruno through everybody. Smith wants to go get it. He does track it down, and finally it rolls to the side of the net, and Vols decides to cover it. So now we're seeing the Aces tilt the rink in their favor here last few minutes or so. They've done a good job of keeping possession, but not a ton of good quality shots towards Vols yet. Another shot for the point. That got through traffic, but Vols had to make the stop. That was Albright. He's got a good shot from the right side, left-handed shot, and it's hard to get those shots through. But he did a really good job of getting that one through, but pretty easy save for Vols. Not a lot of traffic in front, no screens. Good forecheck, forces a turnover. That's Mike Tassos, number 4, gets it back to the point, and Albright again. That shot deflects up and out of play, so they're starting to funnel these plays down low right back to the point, which you would think is a good strategy when you have a really good defender back there. Bruno try to take the draw. It's back with Albright again. He's watched by Trevor McCallum, and then gets lost into the neutral zone onto the other side of the red line. But quickly, the Aces regroup. And the shot there from Jordan Albright deflects away to the corner. Too many bodies in the way of that shot. Now the Militia finally get it into the offensive zone where they haven't been for a while. 1:48 to go in the opening period. Let's just still have the lead. The goal from Trevor McCallum a few minutes ago. Aces will go for that cross rink pass. Drew Albright will fire it in. Another one deflects into the wall. It was to the side of the net. That shot deflected over the top. Bruno got a good look, but he just lifted the shot too high. He gets slippery out on these rinks, so be careful with your footing as Jordan Albright works all the way down low, was looking to center, perhaps looking to shoot, and didn't decide to do either. And that shot from Tranter got blocked on the way in, and it did not go in. Vols ended up squeezing it with 1:01 to go in the opening frame. That's good work from Vols. Just did hold on. That shot might have been deflected on the way in. Those are really troublesome, and again, the bounces of a ball on a rink like this can be fairly unpredictable. And that bounce was definitely unpredictable, but Vols read it very well. Keeps out with 1:01 to go in this opening quarter. Last part of the period. Last quarter of the period, so to speak, has been almost entirely dominated by the Aces. Which, again, not hugely surprising considering what they did a season ago. Down in the corner, that's Zavola. It's a one-on-one duel there. That was Connor Doziak trying to jab it free. We have less than a minute to go now into this first period of the first game of the week. Josh Faust in the corner. Nowhere to go, tried to center it. Good stick check. Vols got his stick on it. Another shot came in from Tranter. That was stopped by Vols as well. Another slip there from Faust. As there is a bit of a commotion behind the play as the Militia clear it. And now the whistles are going to blow. And while they sort that out, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like ass. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages, because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Oh, so, okay, so after all of that, they sorted it out. There is a major to Joey Moore of McKeesport for fighting, and Kyle McCallum of Northside Militia got a double minor. So what that means is a 1-minute major power play for the Militia is essentially what's happened here. Minors are 90 seconds. Majors are 4 minutes. But the way they all cancel out works exactly the same way you would see in the NHL or otherwise, and that is the end of period number 1. So, we're going to take a break. We'll have a little intermission report for you coming up, and then we will see the Militia start period number 2 on a power play. Thanks for being with us in the game of the week.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like ass. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages, because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
It is the first intermission of the first NBHL game of the week of the season. The Northside Militia have the lead over the McKeesport Aces 1-0 as we're getting ready for the second period. And Matthew Aaron, it's great to have you with us for the NBHL Game of the Week 2025, our first game of the week. And it starts out with the team coming up from Tier 2 that has the lead. The Militia get the first goal. Kyle McCallum, you're going to get a chance to look at that goal again. And McCallum finds himself all alone, just lost in coverage. Warwick helped set it up. Gilly with the hockey assist, the second assist. He does a really good job of helping to set the play. And it comes from one end of the rink to the other. And that's really all the Militia were able to do offensively, though. They didn't generate a whole lot of chances. The Aces were the ones who were firing a lot of balls towards the net. Unsurprisingly, it came from Jordan and Drew Albright, mostly towards the end of that period. We then had a bit of a scrum, and some penalties were called, as we said before. It was Joey Moore got the major for the Aces, and it was Kyle McCallum who scored, who got the double minor for the Militia. So what that means is you're going to start this period 4-on-4, and then a 1-minute major power play for the Militia after that, trying to extend their lead as they're up 1-0. The second period is coming right up. Second period's about to get underway here at Greater Pittsburgh Deck Hockey. It is 1-0 Northside Militia over the McKeesport Aces. We're going to play 4-on-4 for the next little while, and then, as we mentioned before, the Militia will have essentially a 1-minute major power play after the penalties you saw at the end of the period. So keep that in mind. Right now, 4-on-4, a little bit more open rink for these teams to get going. Drew Albright will set the play on his way, number 20. Drew and Jordan have been exciting to watch in the first period, but it hasn't led to any goals yet for the defending Pittsburgh Tier 1 champions. See if that changes here in the second. Game started a little slowly. The Militia scored, then it was pretty much one-way traffic for the Aces after that. And then we had the scrum/fight. The player takes a tumble there for the Militia, but the referee sees nothing wrong with that, and we're going to go on. That's wired in by Faust right into the breadbasket of Vols and gets a whistle. Easy stay, that was coming from the neutral zone. Not a whole lot of trouble. Vols got tested quite a bit by the end of that first period. Aces were throwing a lot of balls towards the net. They were getting a good number of those shots through by the end of it. And it'll be Bruno to take the face off here. Tried to slide that back to Drew Albright, but it went by him. Didn't get over the red line, though, so the play is not offside, but now on go the Militia. Trying to back the play into the zone, but they turn it over. And now Justin Hancock's going to try to run after it himself. Into the slot. Oh, what a great stick check. Bruno had a look in the slot for a second, right between the circles, and had his stick lifted at the last minute. And this deflects into the Militia bench. We'll get a face-off right in front of it. Militia doing what you'd want to do when you're playing a team that is going to be a challenge to beat. There's no question about that. Even though the Militia have won their last 22 games, it's a different level. You get an early goal and you defend pretty well and give your goalie enough room to see all the shots. And that's exactly what happened. Zavola trying to push his way forward. Ball's just stuck in the corner. The Militia unable to do a whole lot with it. Still 4-on-4 for a little bit longer. 8:20 to go here in the second period. The power play should start in about a minute or two. This is Trevor McCallum, who able to flip that in, who got the goal, but flipped it out of play. And we will get another face-off. Callum from Warwick and Gilly was the goal in period number 1. We expect a little bit more goal mouth action as we get here into the second period. As Tassos trying to win the draw, he couldn't end up pulling it back cleanly, but it'll be the Aces who go D to D, and will try to start their way up the rink. 7:50 to go here in period number 2. He keeps saying quarters, but this first part of this second period, first quarter of it, the 4-on-4 hasn't generated a whole ton of offense. Michael Bain was trying to keep that play in at the line, and now he has a chance to go in all the way, and he scores. It's 2-0 Militia. Bain just got a loose ball right on the right side of the red line, right here. Play would have been offside, so they have to touch up, and then he quickly touches up, and look at that little pass right there, and he just blows that over the shoulder of Scanlon, who has not much he could do about it. He ended up getting collided with by the man who scored the goal in Bain, but looks like Scanlon's fine. The contact happened after the ball went in the net. But sometimes goaltending is a dangerous line of work, and he took the brunt of it there, but there wasn't a whole lot he could do on the shot. And how about The Northside Militia having a 2-0 lead. John Hunter, number 5, picked up the assist. He did a really good job of setting the table on that play. And now the Aces, who have had more of the possession, more of the ball, they right now trail as that comes to the side of the net where Alec Voles covers it up. Don't think the Militia could have done a whole lot better in the start of this with a 2-0 lead, and we're approaching the halfway point of the game. Quick point shot that got blocked on the way in. That was once again Drew Albright, who's just firing away from the blue line. This gets by him. Albright's got to hustle back here against Adam Nero, number 17. Collision down in the corner. It's a physical sport still. Hockey, no matter where you play it, is going to be a physical sport. A set towards the net, blocked out of play with 7:02 to go in the second period. So now you would expect the Aces to have even more of the ball and fire even more shots towards the net. Down 2-0, you have a little less to lose at this point. And it'll be Jordan Albright who stands in to take it. Not before someone gets kicked out of the circle. Put to the wall. And another shot deflects on its way in. It comes into the slot for Bruno, and he scores. So that's exactly what the Aces were after. They get a beautiful shot, and Jordan Albright gets an assist. No surprise there as he helps sets the table for this. This comes to Bruno, who just finds a little bit of space right there. Gets into the high slot, and nothing Voles could do about that. And so the 2-goal lead for the Militia didn't last very long. And it's now 2-1. Bruno's been getting a lot of shots towards the net. And that was technically shorthanded because the power play had just begun for the Militia. So not only is it a goal, it's a shorthanded goal. And a 2-1 game as Drew Albright brings it into the offensive zone. Back with Jordan, who tried to get that through, and that was Voles who stopped it, and the ball just sat in front of him for a second. With Bruno looking for his second goal in about 30 seconds, but he couldn't get it through Voles. .6:35 to go in the second period. Still, technically a power play, as though it's about to expire for the Militia. They gave up a shorthanded goal up 2-0, and a major shorthanded goal. That's got to hurt. But at some point, the Aces were going to break through, and they finally did. Aces again try to move through the neutral zone, but they turn it over. This is Sean O'Connor, tried to center. That was blocked by Albright, who can also defend in addition to helping set the table. Trevor McCallum trying to set it back up again. Let's trying to spend some time in the offensive zone, but they've lost it. And now Jordan Albright will push it ahead. Bruno couldn't enter the zone clean. Declan Moffett tried to stay onside, but he couldn't keep his feet. 5:39 to go here in period number 2. Still 2-1 Militia, but after that goal by Nick Bruno for the Aces, this game's gotten closer once again. And the Aces, they were due to score one the way they were playing, even if it was shorthanded, which they scored. And now on we head to the side of the net. An opportunity that came for Tranter, but don't think it made it through all the sticks. Point shot from Zavola goes wide. More Aces pressure in the offensive zone. Let's try to be sent back to the point. It's Bruno who tried to keep it alive, just had to fling it up the wall. Ball's bouncing there as the Militia work their way into the offensive end until they turn it over. Set all the way down. Risitano had a little bit of trouble. He just had to send it around the boards and hope there was a teammate there. Closest to it was Tedesco. He's now going to run his way into the offensive zone before Zavola just ripped it right off of his stick. Play in front of the benches. Loose ball in the neutral zone. Eventually the Militia are able to set it up. And Hancock is back behind his own net. Sent all the way down. As they try to enter the zone, it might be a chance for Bruno. He gets tripped as the shot was saved by Vols. He was tripped, and that's a penalty. It was Jacob O'Keefe. They're going to call him for interference. And you can see it's just a slow developing play. Jordan Albright tries to get it into Bruno, and that's probably a goal-saving penalty right there from Jacob O'Keefe, number 23. Almost one of those plays you have to make in order to save your goalie. And so a power play coming up. It's a 90-second power play for the Aces trying to tie this game up. Back from the point, it's Drew Albright. They're funneling it towards him. It's a long way out in the neutral zone because of that floating blue line. But you can wind up even a little bit more than you would just inside the traditional blue line. Vols made that stop, and now Drew and Jordan play catch, and let's try to get it to the far side with that shot again. That didn't come through. It was Bruno once again. Jordan Albright will try to set the table. 3:34 to go in the period. Drew Albright through traffic, deflects wide. Jordan Albright, right side. A lot of sticks in these passing lanes. Down on one knee. That's a great glove save by Stoles. Albright that time was able to get the shot through. Vols flashes the leather and ripped it down. Here's a good look at it from the other angle. That's just a beautiful shot from the right circle. And Vols put a little English on the save, but it's a good save. No way to know whether that's going in or not. Josh Faust with the stick tap because it was a very good save. Albright trying to win the face-off, and they end up keeping the ball. Drew Albright sends it to the far corner. That's Jacob O'Keefe trying to... It wasn't O'Keefe, it was McDonough who tried to clear it. O'Keefe still in the box, loose at the side of that. Vols ended up losing it, and it's jammed in by Justin Hancock. He just jammed it in at the side of the net. The ball was loose there for a second. You can see how it develops, just trying to clear, but a good play by Drew Albright to keep it in. And it's Jordan who just filters it towards the front of the net. Vols loses track, and that's a slam dunk. Easy play for Justin Hancock, and the Aces have tied this game up at 2. Not a whole lot Vols could do there, just slipped underneath his pad as Scanlon makes a save right after the goal was scored, and with a little less than 3 minutes to go, the Aces have come back from 2 down to tie the game. Here's Drew Albright again, setting the table from out high. Good pressure, though, from Gilly, who's able to force it over the red line, and the Aces will have to regroup. This is Faust bringing it into the left wing. Trying to create some space for himself. Tassos and Drew Albright. Good passing as they bring it into the zone. Another shot was deflected. And now it's the Militia, who have not spent much time in the offensive zone and still haven't, because that was intercepted in the neutral zone by Drew Albright, who sends it across. Tassos regroups. Brand new ball game here at 2-2. To the Militia, maybe surprisingly took a 2-goal lead, and the Aces fought back. Exactly the way you would expect. A power play goal and a shorthanded goal in this period. Here's Drew Albright trying to get it through. Too many bodies in the way, a lot of traffic to work through there, but it's the Albrights, unsurprisingly, who have been real stars of this game. There is a turnaround shot from Drew Albright that had to be saved by Vols' short side. Another chance comes through, that was blocked. Let's try to get it into the offensive zone. That's Trevor McCollum, and Ended up working it in cleanly, but not a whole lot of offensive zone possession for the Militia, as it's pretty much been one-way traffic since about, what, halfway through period one? That shot from Jordan Albright didn't get through. More sticks and shooting lanes, a minute to go in the period. Michael Bain tried a hammer one through, and that ends up going out of play. He absolutely tried to torch that, got everything on it, but deflected out of play. Sometimes if you get everything you want on a shot, it ends up rising all the way up on you. Face-off will stay down here. And from Bain, that's just a reminder to the McKeesport defenders that they are still going to get heavy shots on target. They've struggled to do that really since it was 1-0. That's tipped in, no icing. That was Adam Nero who pushed it to the corner, number 17. Hancock was back there, who had just scored the game-tying goal for the Aces. About 30 seconds to go in the second period. Hard battle along the boards. It comes out high to Zach Smith, who will try to bring it into the zone himself after all of that physical play at the end of the first period. Hasn't been a ton of it in the second period. Ball's tipped all the way down with 10 seconds to go, and the Militia are moving pretty slowly here, so they're not going to have a whole lot of time to develop an attack if they want to, and they won't. Just going to rag the ball back in the corner. There was a wraparound shot at the buzzer. Opportunity for Smith there as the Militia had a little trouble with it, but we're going to head to the third period, 2-2. That's fun for the game of the week to start the new campaign. We'll be back.
Whether you're ripping clappers from the blue line or dangling through defenders, Napper has the sticks, gloves, and protective gear to take your game to the next level. Designed for ball hockey players by ball hockey players, Napper delivers unmatched durability, performance, and style on the court. Don't settle for less. Gear up with Napper and own the game. Visit napper.com to check out their latest lineups. Now, back to the show.
Game of the week living up to its billing here. It's 2-2 between the Aces and Militia heading to the third period of the opening NBHL Game of the Week of 2025. I'm Matthew Aaron. Thank you for staying with us. This has been a really fun game. In the second period, a lot more goal mouth action after the physical play to end the first. We start with Michael Bain scoring a goal for the Militia 4-on-4 after all those penalties. It's a nice setup. He gets basically a mini breakaway after a nice pass from the blue line all the way in. See, Bain, that's a good finish. And the Militia surprisingly go up 2-0. But the Aces were going to respond at some point, and they did not too long thereafter because Nick Bruno scores by a little help from Jordan Albright. We talked about him to start the game as a player to watch. And this is a shorthanded goal, too. A shorthanded goal while you're down for a minute on a major penalty kill, too. So even bigger for the Aces to get back into the game. They were due to score after all the pressure they were putting on. You have to go later into the period, but then they get a power play goal after the interference by Jacob O'Keefe for the Militia. It's Justin Hancock, just a little scrum that Alec Voles, the goalie, could not keep a handle on, and he just slams it in. Easy open net, and that gets us to 2-2 heading to the third period. What do these teams have on tap for us? Stay tuned for that. Here we go, third period about to get underway from Greater Pittsburgh Deck Hockey. It's been as advertised. Aces and Militia. Aces have come back from a 2-goal deficit to come and tie this game up, the defending Pittsburgh Tier 1 division champions against the Militia, the defending national NBHL Tier 2 champions. They've been so good at that level, coming in with a 22-game winning streak and trying to make it 23, and they had a 2-goal lead but let it slip. And so what on earth are we going to get in this third period? We start with Voles covering up a long shot and freezing it for a whistle. And so the Militia haven't had a whole lot of offense other than their goals, but hey, if you get the 2 to count and take advantage of your chances, that works. No coach will tell you not to take advantage of those, but certainly there's been a lot more action from the Aces time this game has gone on. They've had a lot more of the offensive zone time, that's for sure. More possession, and Voles is getting tested a lot more than Scanlon has been. But there's plenty of time for that to change, as John Hunter helped assist on the second Militia goal, trying to watch that ball back, but gets to the point, and that shot from Drew Albright deflected wide. Another good stick right at the edge of the crease. Militia will reset. D to D, and the Aces back off a little bit, allow them to move through the neutral zone. Trying to get a short pass ahead there for Jacob O'Keefe. Not able to do a whole lot with that. 8:30 to go, third period of a tie game. This is Jordan Albright, right side. He tried to squeeze that into Tassos, didn't find him. Militia work into the offensive zone. Big bounce off the end boards. Had to be kicked out by Scanlon, and then O'Keefe couldn't do a whole lot with that ball. Just rolled off the edge of his tape. We're going to be offside here. Trying to enter the zone. Couldn't do so cleanly. Entering the zone, it's the traditional blue line, but when you're leaving the zone, it's the red line in ball hockey. If you're new to it, that rule can be a little confusing at times, but you'll get used to it. After the offside neutral zone face-off here, it's about 8 minutes to go in the third period. Little drop-off. That was Nick Bruno or Mike Tassos. That's loose at the side of the net for a second, but what a save by Voles. That's a very good save. Those two, nice passing between them. Tassos not looking a whole lot like a player who's been called up for this game because of absences elsewhere, and Bruno already has a goal. We'll set the table for the Aces to get their first lead. That shot comes wide from the right side. Militia will try to push it ahead. That was Tedesco. Tassos watching him, and they'll send it this way. Militia should be able to clear this all the way down. And they've iced it. Go back the other way we go. See, 7:39 to go in this third period. Aces have never led today, even in spite of that short-handed roster they have. Some of the players unavailable. They have done a pretty good job of still dictating the way this game's been played, though they haven't had a lead at any point. Here come the Militia. Trevor McCallum in the corner. Now we're playing it back up high, and that's a long shot that finds its way in from Corey Grand from the blue line. That was just a seeing eye shot that found its way through absolutely everybody, and the Militia have a 3-2 lead. There's nothing fancy about this. It's McCallum and Gilly who get assists. They already combined for one goal, and this is just a long shot from basically the red line. I don't know if that deflected on its way in. It might have. Gannon Warwick was in front for the Militia. Perhaps it went off of him, couldn't tell. But whoever ended up touching it last, I think it's Grand's goal. It is 3-2 Militia with about 7.5 minutes to go into the third. Centering pass there from Zach Smith comes all the way through. Voles is out of position for a second as that shot deflected wide. It's Hancock trying to keep it alive. Trying to get it to Adam Nero, who lost his balance as he tried to glove it down. And the Aces are right back on the ball. Shot on net. Good save from Voles. Another chance comes through. That was blocked. Smith, well, they tried to squeeze that through on a pass and ended up hitting it to Tassos instead. From the far angle, backhanded, deflected on net. Voles unable to corral it. Militia trying to get more of that offensive zone time. Even though they haven't had a whole lot of it, they have the lead with 6.5 to go. And a lead to protect. Comes all the way back to Drew Albright. To send it right through the neutral zone. It's flipped into the corner. Zavola hustling after it. He lost it at his feet for a second, now drags it back to his stick. Beautiful move there. Gets it back to the point. Jordan Albright covering there. Flip towards the net. It's caught by Voles. He ends up freezing it in behind the play. That could end up being a penalty. I think the Militia player are surprised by this because he's behind the net. It just catches it and stops play. He had to put the ball back into play. as the referees are talking to the Militia players, and it's just an innocent dump in right here by Jordan Albright. Voles goes up to catch it, and he just holds onto it there. You can see the Aces players are saying he's not allowed to do that, and he's not allowed to do that, and that's a penalty. And so a second power play of the game is coming up for the Aces, and they have a chance, really good chance, to tie this game up. They scored on the power play in period number 2. They also have a shorthanded goal. That's a bit of an unforced error from Voles, just lapse in concentration for a second, and now it means the Aces have the power play going with all of their firepower and a chance to even this one up. Voles gets reset. Has to shake off the mistake. It'll be Jordan Albright to take this. All is loose in the corner as number 71 goes right in after it. But the Militia able to just fling that all the way down. Remember, 1 minute 30-second power plays. 5:47 to go in this third period. Aces down 1, but up a man. Faust trying to chase it down in the corner. Ball got kind of stuck underneath those end boards for a second. Hacked at, but it ended up going into the crowd. Militia player lost their stick. It was Craig Steedle who lost to the crowd, got it back in a hurry, and face-off stays in the offensive zone for the Aces. Still have plenty of time left, but gotta funnel stuff towards the net as much as possible. Would help to win the face-off, which they don't do, and it's cleared all the way down once again. Scanlon will reset. You see 5:20 to go in the third period. There was nowhere to go for Hancock trying to enter the zone, and that had to be hammered by Albright. He ended up missing the target. The ball came out into the high slot, kind of strangely off the bounce off the mesh there behind the net, but there weren't any tan shirts in position. Drew Albright will leave it for Jordan to try to get this into the zone. That deflects off a leg and out of play again. So not a whole lot of chances for the Aces on this power play, and since that was shot in from the neutral zone and went out of play, the draw comes into the neutral zone here. Prisitano ended up losing it. Play ended up going offside anyway. Lost the draw. Was kind of surprised for a second he lost the draw, but then Jordan Albright brought it into the zone anyway too early. Here's Bruno. One goal for him already as he brought it in. Drew Albright. Jordan far side. Back to Drew. Hammers one on. Voles save. He lost the rebound for a second. He ended up having to swipe his glove behind his body to cover that up for a second. He thought he might have lost it. That is the worst feeling for a goalie when you look behind you and you don't know where the ball or puck is. In this case, the ball wasn't too far away from his glove, and he ended up smothering it. 4.5 to go in the period. That should be cleared. It's going to be. Militia finally win the draw, and they're able to get it all the way down. And the clock is winding. The power play should be coming to an end shortly. And the Aces have gotten a couple of decent looks on net, but nothing substantial. And each second that ticks away, the Militia are doing a good job of holding this lead. The wall they go, but they do not get it beyond the center of the rink line. It comes this way. Zavola tried to send that through, but not cleared. Big hit and another chance. That was from Bruno. It might have gotten blocked in front. More looks here for Bruno down low, trying to get it into the slot. That was Jordan Albright. That was blocked. Pressure starting to build. Zavola keeps in. Jordan Albright, left circle. He gets it back in the high slot. That was off a stick in front. Militia positioned well there. Drew Albright, scrambling behind the net. Trying to find some open rink. Hard battle along these boards in front of the bench, and now it's the Militia trying to break away here. They're going to have an odd man rush, and the chance is saved by Scanlon. Another chance didn't get through. That was an opportunity for the Militia to bury the game. You get an odd man rush in a situation like that. Steedle and McCallum trying to work their way into the zone. Sticked wide there by Scanlon. 2:47 to go in the third. Still loose in the neutral zone, but the Militia are back onto it. They creep in over the line. They don't get the ball deep, though. This is Jordan Albright, and good save short side from Voles. Clock is definitely becoming more of an enemy of the Aces as they try to get this game tied up. Back up high, Hancock. Not a whole lot you can do with that. Tranter in the corner. Trying to get it back into the slot. Still loose at the side for a second. No one could get a stick to it. It's over Bruno, and a breakaway here for the Militia. Chance to wrap this up. Scanlon made the first save, and it was wrapped through the crease and comes out wide. What an opportunity for the Militia. That would have been game over, but they couldn't bury the chance, and the far shot is deflected by Voles out of play. And it was Bruno who flung it towards the net. And the Militia have had two odd man rushes with an opportunity to finish this game off, and neither were taken. That is a tough, tough break. And so it leaves the Aces with the door open just a little bit. And going to be a timeout as we look at a break. We'll be back in a second after the timeout.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like ass. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Back after the timeout to reset with the Militia up 3-2, with the game coming towards the conclusion. Less than 2 minutes to go, 100 seconds to go in the game. The Aces absolutely need one in a hurry. Goalie has been pulled. Scanlon to the bench at 6-on-5. What do the Aces, the defending Pittsburgh Tier 1 champions, have in this opening game of the season? That was a big collision. Jordan Albright slipped and hit into these near boards. He's going to come back up high. Drew Albright and Jordan going to wire one. Big save. The rebound is loose, and they score to tie the game with the goalie pulled. It's Nick Bruno who jammed it in. Both Albrights get the assist, and it didn't take long for the Aces with the goalie pull to tie it up. Trying to clear, you have to get it over that red line, and they don't do it. That's a good shot. Voles couldn't corral the rebound, and Bruno just again jams it in at the side of the net. That's similar to that second goal, and again, not a whole lot Voles can do. That's a heck of a shot. It looks like we might be on course for overtime in the first game of the week of the year. That would be fitting. See if these teams try to keep it safe and play for overtime. Tassos will go D to D. Now less than a minute to go. Would be 3 minutes of 3-on-3 overtime if we get there. Tassos in a long shot. That was Drew Albright. Deflects wide. Militia will try to break out the other way, and how much are they going to hate those odd man chances they had to wrap the game up and they couldn't, but they do stay on side here. Trevor McCallum into the slot that rolled on net. Scanlon was down for a second. Well, that could have been a mess for the Aces, but they're able to bring it into the offensive zone. It's back with Trevor McCallum, number 96, and he's going to slow it up. They're going to have one more chance as he passes that ahead for Michael Bain, who was one of the goals from earlier. That shot deflects out of play with 12 seconds to go. Went off of a defending stick, so 12 seconds left. Is that enough time for the Militia to do something magical here? 12 seconds is more than enough to draw a play up. Big face-off win. It comes to McCallum, and he scores! With 10 seconds left, it's a simple face-off win. McCallum has his second goal of the game, and with 10 seconds left, the Militia lead by 1. Jordan Albright taking the draw for the Aces. He just lost it clean, and it's just a fired shot all the way in from Trevor McCallum. And that could be enough to win this game. How about a goalie for the Aces with their goalie pulled and then McCallum off a face-off play with 10 seconds. All they have to do is get the ball in deep. There's 5 seconds left. I think the Aces have run out of time. Good job from O'Keefe to play the ball there, and that's it. How about the Militia winning their 23rd game in a row against the defending Pittsburgh Tier 1 Division champions with a late stunner of a goal from Trevor McCallum. We'll be back to wrap this up in just a second. Militia with a great win on opening day.
Whether you're ripping clappers from the blue line or dangling through defenders, Napper has the sticks, gloves, and protective gear to take your game to the next level. Designed for ball hockey players by ball hockey players, Napper delivers unmatched durability, performance, and style on the court. Don't settle for less. Gear up with Napper and own the game. Visit napper.com to check out their latest lineups. Now, back to the show.
Well, how about that for a game of the week ending? A goal with 10 seconds left from Trevor McCallum to win the game for the Northside Militia 4-3 over the McKeesport Aces. Matthew Aaron, we're glad you stayed with us for that. What a dramatic ending, and if there is anyone we could have at player of the game, of course, Trevor McCallum. He scored 2 goals. He scored the first goal, and then he scores the last goal. That was an incredible play. Just a little face-off win, and he just wires it over Bryce Scanlon. Not a whole lot the goalie could do, and the Aces, shorthanded in their roster today, they played really well. The Militia didn't have a whole lot of offensive chances, but whenever it seemed they got the ball into a good spot in that offensive zone, they put it away, and they have now won 23 in a row, and they don't look out of place in Tier 1 Pittsburgh at all. We'll see what they have for us next week. We'll see what the next game of the week has for us. Matthew Aaron, thank you so much for being with us. Stay tuned. We've got more of these coming all throughout the season. Thank you for spending some time. Have a great rest of your Thursday.